Okay, staycation days 2 and 3. We woke up on Sunday and it was windy and cold and just damp outside. So we didn't, I had things planned, but it didn't happen. So we went to church. It was Palm Sunday. We didn't wave walk around and wave the palms and everything. Everybody was giving palms. I'm making it look like I was waving them, but I wasn't. And then we just returned them back to the bucket. There was no reason to take him home because we were afraid that Gaston was going to get into him. And then Gaston got on me, and I decided to pick him up. He's 24 pounds now, so that was fun. Okay, so on Monday morning, we went to Ghostlight Coffee before going to Carillon Park. This is their Patterson Boulevard location right next to Old Scratch Pizza. It was the first time I had actually been inside the location since before the pandemic. Um, Usually I just order and get it to go. The boys got themselves water. I got myself an iced latte with the black pepper, vanilla, fig syrup. Then it was on to Carillon Park. My mom absolutely loved Carillon Park. It was one of her favorite places to go or to take people when they came down to visit us. I've taken Molly there, and when I told the boys we were gonna go, they were both excited. And for them to be 15 and 17 wanting to go, that was pretty cool. I allowed them to go off on their own through it because whatever, what catches my eye, and especially with me taking pictures and videos and stuff, I knew that they would be bored waiting around for me. So this is us walking into the new entrance. They've changed it in uh, recently, the some of the building. So they had to take the photo with the sign before we went to go pay. This is a sycamore storytelling log. I think that's the name of it. And it just tells you the history of Dayton from John Dayton, the one who founded Dayton, to the cash register, to the blue clock tower, the canal. So enjoy. So there's this one area that has some signage of some local restaurants, a collection of beer steins, a huge collection of beer steins. I just took some photos of some of the ones that caught my eye. I could have spent all day probably taking some photos of them because they're pretty neat. And then it had about some entertainers who have come from the Dayton area. So enjoy. Okay, so one of the new things is this big sign. I had to have the boys take a photo by it. Okay, the one thing Dayton is known for is the invention of the cash register at the NCR. And this is a small portion of the collection of cash registers they have at the museum. Right by the carousel is even more cash registers. Okay, so this is a replica of the Deeds barn where the barn gang got together and they created the self starter for the Cadillac. So we discovered that the self checkout machine was invented in 2001, so it's only 20 years old. That was a computer from 1983. Okay, did you know that the pop top was invented in Dayton, Ohio? It's called known as the Varn Gang. So this is Frigidaire. My grandpa may or may not have signed this because this is like from the last time when it closed. And they have all the signatures. My grandpa had worked there. I have never found his signature, but he may have signed it. Look at the ice box. That's how they used to be.
Hello there. You know, the gang and I worked pretty hard in those early years to get our Delco enterprise up and going. The men we pulled together from NCR called me boss. But I'll tell you, the only rank in that group was when one of us was ranker than the next.
So this is the carousel that I was talking about. And when you look at the carousel, you will notice that each of the seats is related. Well, this is right now, this is all the cash registers I was talking about. Look at how many. There is a lot. Okay, so back to the carousel. So when you look at the carousel, each of the seats is something related with Dayton, Ohio. Either it's something that was invented there, or there was a dog that was Scripto, the dog that Orville Wright owned. Mike sells chips. Esther Price was started here. The canal. some of the, the trains and everything. I got easily distracted by looking at other things that were on display. Usually we ride it, but I asked the boys if they wanted to ride it, and they didn't want to ride it. So just enjoy looking at the different things, inventions and innovations from Dayton. Okay, so the boys love this train. In fact, I couldn't get Nick out of that train. He wanted to sit there. He was comfortable in it. So we're going to end here. Join me next time for the rest of the park.